the action, removing the pebbles, it moves us into a space where we stop being the victim. Forgiveness, removing the pebbles in our lives, changing the things that ought to be changed. And so, oftentimes, though, we leave the pebbles there because when we are talking about forgiveness, oftentimes we don't know what we want, we just know what we don't want. Oftentimes when we are dealing with forgiveness, we don't know what we want, we just know what we don't want. If you're going to remove a pebble from your life, you have to know what you want and not what you don't want. And so, we don't want to go on feeling unloved. I don't want to go on feeling like I am unheard or that I am unseen. That's what you don't want. You don't want to go on in your life feeling that way. So you've got to take some action. Remember, action leads to freedom. Freedom leads to creation. Action leads to freedom, and freedom leads to creation. Removing the pebbles of our life. See, action is an offering. When you remove the pebbles, you then can offer yourself up as something new because you've allowed something new to find its way in you, through you, and as you. But this newness has to have an avenue to get in. If there's pebbles all over the place, nothing new can find you and move through you, in you, and as you. And so we've always then got to be asking ourselves, what are we offering? What am I offering? And so if you want to be loved, then offer love. If you want to be heard, then offer something that somebody wants to hear. If you want to be seen, then offer someone something that's worthy of being seen. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? You've got to take action. You can't sit back and stay in victimhood. You've got to be the one to remove the pebbles. You've got to be the one to allow something new to find its way in you, through you, and as its greatest expression of something new. A new kind of love, a new kind of joy, a new kind of peace. You've got to come up with something worth hearing. You've got to come up with something worth seeing and to grow. So this moves us into understanding that we've got to grow up. You and I, we've got to grow up, and we've got to grow in, or grow up and go in, however you want to say it, but grow up in our love. We've got to remove the pebbles where no one and no thing can longer find a place in our life that we can blame. This leads us to an opportunity in our life to decide whether or not we want to go on living our life, living our life in a manner where we don't let anything happen without understanding it. And we don't let anything in our life happen without being understood. So I want you to know what's happening. I'm going to make sure that you understand what's happening. And in my life, when I don't know what's happening, I'm going to make sure that I find out that I understand what's happening. It's a big leap to live this kind of life, to not be misunderstood and to not misunderstand. To not be misunderstood and to not misunderstand. See, we get pebbles because we don't understand. And we go on and on and on and on and on, being misunderstood. Action. Removing the pebbles of our life. Forgiving. Opening up to something new. And so what this means then, this means in our lives, we're going to have to begin to own what is before us. And be in alignment with the idea that we create. Or that somehow we have allowed things to happen in our lives, because that's two ways to create. Either you create it intentionally or you allow something to happen in your life. Either way, it's there, and there's no denying it. So we have to begin in our lives to own whatever is happening in our lives. And then once we own it, then we can see it. And when we see it, then we can see our judgments about it. We can see where we're judging ourselves, and we can see where we're judging others in it. And so that we want that to happen, because that leads us to freedom, you see. When we can see the judgments, then we can do something about it. We can decide in that moment to let it go, to open up to something new. In that moment, then we can see what's possible. And so for each one of us then, in our lives, we get to decide now or tomorrow or whenever whether or not you want to remove the pebbles from your life. But you have to be the one to remove the pebbles from your life. You're going to have to be the one to decide to forgive that happened to you. You're the one that's going to have to be, you're going to be the one who's going to have to decide to open up to something new, to live a life that's so wonderful and so magnificent that nothing disturbs you and nothing deters you, to live a life where in an instant you find yourself back centered right where you want to be, where you open up to possibilities in your life, where you open up to something new, where you open up to a new love, where you open up to a new joy, where you open up to living life as life is supposed to be lived, where you open up to accepting the reality of who you are, of accepting the reality that there's a part of us that's never been hurt, harmed, or tarnished in any way. Oh, you got to get this if you want to create a life that you desire to live. Don't let this message pass you by. You've got to get this one, see? There can be no creating if we do not take action. Action leads to freedom, and freedom leads to creation. So, come on, practitioners. Help me anchor this idea. Join with me in knowing the truth about each one of us here, now. Affirm with me that there's only one life, only one mind, only one power, only one presence, only one energy, only one essence, only one idea, one thought flowing through us. And it is a divine idea. It is God's idea. Therefore, it must be the highest and the best idea. And that this action and activity is the action and activity that's occurring for me and occurring for you right now. That in us, through us, and as us is something magnificent and wonderful, something that is so full of love and joy and wonder and beauty, that its energy is so expansive and that it can only draw into itself what it is. It is this that we are one with. It is this that we unite with in this moment that we call our very own life. And so from this place then, in this space, I speak my word as I know it to be true for myself and for each one of us here. That in this moment, no longer do we hold on to our old ideas about what happened to us or what didn't happen for us, but that we open up to being available for the divine power and presence in us to remove the pebbles that have been lodged for so long, to remove the old ideas of hurt and disappointment that have been with us for so long. It's in this moment we open up to something new to find us, to activate in us that which is alive within us, that which desires to create something new again and again and again, that which is always engaged in the action of creating. And so in this moment, I speak my word for myself and for each one of us, where I know that we say yes to being a part of life and what is alive, what is moving and breathing and having its essence right here and right now on earth, that which is heaven on earth. And so I speak my word, and I know in this moment that all things that are so tight and rigid, that is loosened now, and that we together, we free it, we let it go, we let it be, and we open up to something new, something divine. We open up to experiencing heaven right here on earth, 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 right here and right now. This I know to be the action and activity occurring in my life and occurring in your life. And oh, I give thanks for it. I give thanks for the opening up to something new, for the new energy that draws to itself like itself. I give thanks for the opening up to new ideas that draws to itself the completion of the new idea being made manifest, being made whole, the experience of it in the physical right here and right now. I give thanks for it, for this life, but knowing that there's a power and a presence, an energy and an essence in me and in you that is intelligent, that knows all, that is all. I give thanks for it. I give thanks for it and the changes that it leads me to. I give thanks for this freedom, for the action that I take, for the action that you take that leads us to freedom, where we create the life that we desire. Yes. And so, in knowing then that the words that have been spoken, that there's a perfect law activating upon them now, acting on them now, and fully within me, I have accepted it as already being so. So I know then that the demonstration is already made. And so we live in it and from it, and we are moved into an even greater expectancy of more good, to an even greater expectancy of the all good, to an even greater expectancy of a new life, to an even greater expectancy of a new creation in our life. And so in knowing this then, I just simply let these words go. I know that healing has already occurred and the revealing of the divine truth is happening now. I let these words go. I let them be. And together, each one of us create peace right here, right now on earth. And we just simply let it go by saying then, and so it is.